Good evening and welcome to Let's Talk Shop with Russ and Audra. That's what's up tonight. So I've got Audra here with me, my granddaughter, and she is joined. The reason I had to lock on to myself because every time somebody was making noise, it was going to them. So anyway, so Audra is joining me tonight to have a good time, and then she's not the guest. We have Matt Haas on tonight as the guest, and he's going to be talking about his channel, All Things YouTube. And I brought him on. I'll talk about that in just a few minutes, but why I brought him on and what I thought was good about that. So I don't know why I brought him on, actually. Well, never mind. Anyway, but before we get started, let me tell you about my wonderful sponsors. And they are Devobal Technologies. For web design, development, hosting, visit devobal.com. FastCap, innovative products for the professional woodworker. Go to fastcap.com. Rockler, 60 years in woodworking. Create with confidence. Visit rockler.com. Bearwood Supply Company, your best choice for hard-to-find woodworking supplies. Go to bearwood.com. Klingspor, the sanding specialist. Woodworkingshop.com. Seiko, the scroll saw specialist. Seiko.com. And Scrollnado, dust collection system for your scroll saw. You can find them on Amazon. And don't forget, on Wednesday nights, which I've missed the last couple of Wednesdays because things came up, but I usually have a show here on Wednesday nights on YouTube, Scrolling and Making with Russ, so where I try to make something, I attempt to make something. Sometimes it doesn't always work out on live on the channel, on the scroll saw. Sometimes I do other things, but anyway, that's what happens on Wednesday nights. So let me put this over here and I just bent the antenna on my router. Here, it's straightened back up. Anyway, tonight we have Matt Haas on, and he started a new channel here a while back. He's been doing these things called All Things YouTube, and he tells us, how to make our channels better and stuff like that. And I've been listening to him for a while, and he's trying to build that channel. I think he just went over 100 subscribers. And so I was thinking the other day, I was like, wow, I should have him on the show to try to give his channel a boost, and also so that he can tell us, and I told him he doesn't have to tell us anything that he's going to use in the future, but he has a lot of stuff that he's told in the past that he can actually bring up and talk to us about tonight. So Matt Haas is our guest, and I'll let him introduce himself last. And first off, I'll let Audra introduce herself. So Audra, say hi.
Hi.
All right, that's Audra. So, all right, so she's going to be kind of play bashful. She was before the show, the pre-show, she was really getting into talking to everybody. So anyway, so let's go ahead and have the panel introduce themselves, and then after that, we'll jump on over to Matt and let him tell us about some All Things YouTube. Let's start off with Brenda.
Thanks, Russ. I'm Brenda G of Brenda G's Designs, and you'll find me all over the internet as Brenda G's Designs. I've got a YouTube channel where I do crafts, and I also do comedy. I got a Heifer Haven with free advice. Now, I said it was free, didn't say it'd be good. So you can come over to my channel and check all that out. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter, just every place. Just look up Brenda G's Designs, and I'll be there.
Cool. I caught 14 and 15 and commented on them. I don't know which one of them, but anyway, the one I absolutely almost fell off the chair when I was watching it, and it's funny stuff. Funny stuff.
Is that the one with the peanuts and the beer bar?
Yes. Yeah, I about fell out my chair when you did that one. So good job. And we'll talk about that because I know you and Matt share. What is it?
Mind Equals Blown on Thursday nights at 7 p.m.
Yeah, we'll talk about. We'll bring that up in a little while. So, all right, Chris.
Hey, gang, Chris here at the Old Cranky Workshop. Got some projects in the works. Got a video or two in the works. You find me on Facebook and YouTube, and if not here, you'll find me on a cruise ship working on Russ Meadows' bar tab. So, anyways, I have to ask the elephant in the room, Brenda, what's with the sunglasses?
Well, I'm coming off of a root canal problem that I had, and I'm on medications, and it's kind of got my eyes all swollen up, and the lights are bothering me, so I'm wearing sunglasses to kind of keep the pain under control here with my eyeballs.
Gotcha. But it's got that Hollywood feel to it. I like it. I like it.
She looks cool. She looks cool.
Yeah, it makes me look like I'm a celebrity too. You know,
there you go. Yeah, well, you are. You are a celebrity. That's all I got.
All right, Jim Bashir's.
Jim Bashir's got a small YouTube channel called Driveway Workshop. I'm going to try to get back into videos again. I got a sampler package that's based around an Arduino, so I'm going to go through and if I can remember how to make a video and take the stuff that comes with the package and try to make little easy to use projects out of it. And while I'm off for neck surgery here from work for the next couple of months. Other than that, everything is oh, and her octopus is going in the back corner there. So Audra's got an octopus brewing.
You hear that? Tell him thank you.
Thank you.
She said that earlier. But
I know, yeah.
Yeah, she said that earlier. And by the way, Audra, there's several people that said hi, Audra, out here. This is the chat. I didn't explain that to you before, but this is the chat. So people are popping in questions and everything. And we have, as of right now, Jimbo is out there. Dixon Hoffman is out there. Luana Pierce, Gary Lucas, the Appalachian Heritage Woodshop. Appalachian. One of those things. Yeah, don't laugh at me. Aussie Man's out there in the chat. So, yep, all these people are out there in the chat. So I have to look over here every once in a while. And
someone in the chat asked earlier, Russ, if you're going to be at the Rockler deal in June.
I don't think I don't know yet. I haven't talked to Pat, the manager, yet on the June thing, so I don't know at this point. So. All right, so next is Katie.
Hi, my name is Katie, and I'm just here to stir up as much chaos as I can. And tonight I have help. Audra's here to help me. I'm so proud to see her.
Okay. I think sometimes she gets a little embarrassed, but Al?
Howdy. And it's great to be here. Great to see Audra there. And anyway, Al Forte, Odessa Woodworking and Maker Shop. Just hanging in there. Not making any videos, but I guess I need to make some too, Jim. But anyway, guys, thanks for having me. And look forward to the show and hearing what Matt has to say about all things YouTube.
Cool. Yeah. Who said that? Can you read his name? I know I have that problem too. Dixon Hoffman said hello, Audra. Jimbo said hello, Audra. See, they're telling you hello out there in the chat. They're telling you hello. So next is Paul.
Hey there, Paul from Paul's Messy Workshop. You can find me on YouTube and on Instagram. And hey, Jim, is that the kit that Paul McCord is going to have his show by?
Well, I don't know. It's in. Oh yeah, Paul McWhorter.
Yeah.
That's where I found out the little kit is there. It's an Elegoo or Elegoo.
Yep. Yeah, I think I'm going to order the same kit because that sounds like an interesting series he's going to have.
Yeah, on. And when you go and you start to write programs for Arduino, the programming environment's got a lot of little sample projects that you can do, and I think I'm just going to go through them one by one and show people how to wire them and put them together and stuff like that.
There's a lot of cool stuff out there.
Yep, sure. Yeah, there is.
Well, that's a neat kit for $35.
Yep, there's a lot of stuff in it. I'll pop it open here while we're gabbing.
Yeah. So anyway, that's all I got, Russ, and glad to be here.
You're welcome. And Russ? The other
on my
Russ.
screen, Steve is next. By gosh. Oh no, Russ Photos from the Rusty Nails Wood Shop, and I just want to say to Audra, it's okay if you laugh at your grandpa, because we all do. So don't worry about it. Don't get upset. Oh, she's gone. Where'd she go?
She had to take a little.
Okay, I got you.
A break.
All right. Well, I'll get her when she comes back.
Okay.
Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. And Steve Good.
It was my turn, and Audra runs off.
Yep.
Right there.
She got up, walked, and I looked at her, and she goes,
She's had enough.
"No, she's coming back. She had the potty."
That's funny. I'm Steve Good, Scroll Saw Workshop. I do scroll saw stuff. You can find me on my blog at Scroll Saw Workshop. Just search for Steve Good.
Cool.
Thanks, Russ.
You're welcome. And she's going to kill me when she finds out or watches this tomorrow.
You told on her, Russ. You told on her. Oh,
I know. Well, everybody was wondering, but she didn't leave. She got out, walked behind the camera, and looked at me. She was pretty smart, and she goes, I said, okay, no problem. So she'll be back. Anyway, last but not least, Mr. Matt Haas.
Hello, Internet. Matt Haas from the new YouTube channel, All Things YouTube. I am thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me back for the second time as a featured guest on, Let's Talk Shop with Russ. I'm thrilled.
No problem.
5 times, do you get a jacket like you do on Saturday Night Live?
Maybe. Who knows?
Well, you started the channel, and I've been watching you. As much as I miss a few shows every now and then, but I mean, I can't be there every night. But we started the channel, and actually, it was before you actually started the channel, or
I did a pilot on my Awesome Wood Things channel.
Right.
Okay. So I did live streams. I live stream every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern, and it was on my original channel, Awesome Wood Things.
Right.
And it started to take off. It started to get an audience. At first, it was the maker community, which I love. I love the maker community. But, this is YouTube tips. You don't have to be a maker or a woodworker to get YouTube tips. And it started to pull in other people. And then I started noticing that everyone that was signing up to see my woodworking stuff, many people would drop off. In other words, they would unsubscribe on Monday nights. So I would be going up, and then it would go down on Monday. So I figure, well, I've done 39 All Things YouTube live streams on the Awesome Wood Things channel. So I'm like, well, show number 40, I think it's time to move it to its own channel. I have my own website, allthingsyoutube.com. And if you go there, it'll pop open a box to have you sign up for an email newsletter. I have an email newsletter for this channel, and I'm going to have an email newsletter for All Things YouTube. So if you want to sign up for a newsletter on All Things YouTube, just go to allthingsyoutube.com, and it'll present you with an email and name box. That's all I ask for. And that might be a good thing, because I envision in the future, I'll be putting together lists and data that isn't expressed well in a little image on Facebook. You might want a full table full of stuff, and delivered by email is a good vehicle for that. So we'll have that going.
Well, that's what I was wondering because I remember watching you on the live streams and everything, and then you transferred over to its own channel, which is great. And so Matt is giving a lot of information on his channel about how to make your YouTube channel better, things you need to do, things you need to look for, and everything else. So I thought, you know what? I've been watching this. I've seen him on his own channel. Let me ask him if he can be or wants to be on my show, and just give us some preview about your channel, and and give us some information. You don't have to give us none of the new stuff that you're going to do, but
that's fine. No,
cover some of the old stuff that you were doing. So
let me start with the initial inspiration for the whole idea back on show number 1, and that is, I'm a geek, man. I am a geek. I did web development. I still do web development, and I follow the tech news, the world technology news. So Google, Facebook, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon. I follow it day to day, and I like to see what those companies are doing and the decisions they're making and how that impacts the user on a day-to-day basis. And, you know, Google's a big player and YouTube is owned by Google. And it was just a natural type of thing. And I love the analytics, you know, being a web developer. I love, you know, understanding all the little moving pieces to try and see what moves the needle, what brings your channel higher. And so it's just a natural thing for me to do because I love the space to begin with. And it was just a fun thing to do. You know, I'm creative with woodworking, and I know how to ultimately build an audience. If you had to summarize what All Things YouTube is, it's how to build an audience, because you're not going to go anywhere if you don't have an audience. So everything I do on that channel, ultimately it's boiling down to build an audience. So that's kind of how I kind of got started. I love tech, and it just and I love those analytics, man. It's just so cool. They present you with so much information. There's a wealth of information. So I tell you how to cut right through it, what's important, what's not, and how to drive that needle. So that's kind of the inspiration behind it.
Cool. And also, if you don't mind, in your thing tonight, your presentation tonight, I was trying to get the presentation in my mind. I just called it a thing. But in your presentation tonight, I want to maybe touch base on, because I think I've heard you say that YouTube is going to the new studio beta.
Oh, yeah.
And they're getting it locked on. So if you can do that, and because some people, let me tell you, don't have an idea about studio beta, how to use it, and also that it's coming, and once they make the change, you're going to be left out in the dark.
Yeah, yeah. Sometime this calendar year, the Classic is going away. You know, the Classic Studio is what it's kind of called, the Classic Studio. And it's great. The Classic Studio has a lot of visual UI appeal. It's easy to work with. The old way, it presents a lot of information right on the same screen. And the new way, you kind of have to go through tabs. So in that respect, the new way, the new beta is what they call it. Studio Beta is the new way. Studio Classic is the old. So the beta can kind of feel a little clunky, but make no mistake, they're putting some banging new features in beta, and they will never appear in Classic. All the engineering dollars are going to beta. So yeah, and I can show you some cool things about that.
Well, you've got the floor, my friend. Take off.
So sweet. All
Matt,
right.
You have a question out in the chat already. It says, does this mean we won't be able to upload self-edited videos to YouTube anymore?
No, it does not. That's the core value proposition of YouTube, so that will never go away. What's changing is all of the tools YouTube gives channel owners to get their videos on the platform. So the screen that has the title of the video, the description of the video, the keywords of the video, all of the metadata around that, what ads you want, you know, what if you want cards or end screens, all of like where you do that work, that's what's changing. You will always be able to upload videos to YouTube. And then you've got a couple other options. You can do live streams like we're doing now. This is the Hangouts on Air feature that we're using now on YouTube. This isn't an uploaded video. This is sort of a streamed live video. But yeah, you'll always be able to upload videos. And in fact, sometime soon, they're going to put a few more updates into the upload path. So there will be an old upload path and a new upload path. They left no idea as to what the new features are, but if you upload videos kind of regularly, my suggestion is just keep an eye when you click the little thing to upload. Look for something different, because something's going to change soon. And I'm really curious as to what could be different that they could be adding to the uploads. Kind of interesting. So keep an eye out for that. So yeah. So let me do some screen shares here. We can get going. Questions, ask questions along the way. But, and you know, before I do the screen share, the developers of YouTube, the engineering team on YouTube has an informal channel called Creator Insider. It's a YouTube channel called Creator Insider. And they tell you what has changed on the platform. A lot of what I'm going to do on All Things YouTube is take those news snippets of what changed on the interface, and I'm going to show you exactly what they're talking about, because they just rattle it off real quick. It's kind of hard to comprehend what they're talking about sometimes. But more importantly, I'm going to add my commentary to it and tell you why that feature is good or bad. And you get it straight from me. I have no allegiance to anyone. If something's funky, you're going to hear it. I'm going to tell you. So that's mostly what I do, is I take all the changes. So if you want to keep up to date on YouTube, this is the channel, All Things YouTube. I'll show you.
Luana Pierce has something that she asked, and I think you need to cover it real quick. Is it better to wait for a YouTube beta, or if you don't have upload started yet?
If you don't have uploading started, well, that would imply that you're not uploading videos. After you've uploaded your first video, you should use beta. Now, here's the thing. You can use both. Both environments are available. So here I am in Studio Beta. Let me go out to my dashboard. Here's down at the bottom. I don't know if you can see this. Maybe the little maybe the thumbnails are in the way. Can you see this Creator Studio link down here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you could see. That's how you go to the old way. So I click that button, and now does this look familiar to a lot of people? This is what's been on the site since 2008. This is the old environment.
I still use the old way.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? That's cool. You can still use the old way. And then if you want to go to the new one, here's the link up here. Try Studio Beta. So that's how you pop back and forth from one to the other. And that's going to remain. Those features of popping back and forth, that's going to stay like that right up until they turn it off. So you can dip your toes in, check it. There's no reason not to go to Studio Beta and just take a look at it. Now, if you wanted to permanently, like say I'm out here on the public YouTube space. So this is a watch page. This is the Let's Talk Shop with Russ page. But when you go under your icon and you go studio, like this option here, that option, you can choose where you're going to land. If you're going to land in the beta or if you're going to land in the classic. So let me show you how to do that. So once you're in beta, come down here to the settings button. Hopefully you can see the settings and there's not a...
No, we see it. You can see it clear.
And then the settings has several options over here on the left nav. The default one is general. That's where you want to be, right there. Do you see how it says classic and beta? So you can control what your default's going to be. You will still have access to go back and forth. You can jump from one to the other, but this is just where you'll land when you choose that option underneath here. So that's what I recommend. Come here, go to settings and do that. And then you'll land here. And then if you need a feature, look at these features here. All of these features do not exist in beta yet. So if you need to do playlist management, you click this and it'll open a new tab and it'll give you the playlist management. And then you can live in this old environment. And like this is the old, I don't know if you can tell, but this is the old interface with this weird left nav bar. And like this is different. So this is so as they build the features in, they're going to get rid of these little, hey, we haven't got to it yet. That's what this list is. We haven't built this feature yet. So, and that's the thing. You can't do 100% of your work in beta. You'll have to come out and do, oh, look. Yeah, see live events, this is still in the old way. I do a live show 7 p.m. on Mondays, 7 p.m. Eastern. So I must go to Creators Classic. Even though I want to do it in beta, I can't do it. And then go live streaming.
Right. That's one of the reasons I stayed over in Creators, because I can't do my shows.
That's right.
Into the beta. I have to go back to Classic. So I was like, well, the heck with it. You know,
Right.
they're
getting it there. They have live events, which is like push button instantaneous go live.
Right.
That was like the first thing that they built into beta.
Right.
But that's not what you're doing. You're doing a scheduled event. The Let's Talk Shop with Russ show is scheduled. Look, I got two watches on. I was at a wedding before this show, so I'm all hopped up on cake and caffeine and booze. But the bride, she gave me a watch. She saw one of my old videos on Awesome Fun Things. That's my other channel. And she says, hey, I have that watch. I used it in college. I don't use it anymore. Do you want it? And she gave it to me. And it's bang on identical to my old one, except it's black on white instead of white on black. Anyway.
It probably didn't go with their wedding dress.
No.
The Appalachian Heritage Woodshop says, how will this affect me uploading a my TV show onto YouTube after it airs on TV? I don't think it'll affect it at all.
Well, you have to have the rights to do that.
Right.
So
there you go.
If you own, so that there's a whole other conversation about ownership. But if it's a video you have on your computer, a MP4 or something, you can still push it up. I mean, this hasn't changed.
Right.
Yeah. Like, so if you want to upload a video, this top little thing here, you go bloop and you say upload video. You'll have 3 or 2 choices depending if you have monetization or not. So you choose upload video, and then you click this button and you search your hard drive, and then you put your video on there, and you're off to the races. Right. Beta is not going to change you uploading stuff. It's going to change how you put all the stuff. It's going to change how you describe your video after it's uploaded.
Describing, editing, all that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff is going to change. The way I upload a video, that's not going to change.
You know what's fun? They just announced this yesterday, and I made a video about this on All Things YouTube. But so if you're on the classic, and let me go back. I might go back to, let me go to the classic. For one day in June, they're going to, so here I'm in the Studio Classic. This is the interface you're used to, Russ, because you can only do live streaming events from the old way. But if you go here, if you click this button, the analytics button, they're not going to show you the analytics you're used to. For one day in June, they're going to force you to go over to beta and look at the analytics in beta. So this is what you're used to.
Right.
But this is for one day, this is going away, and there's just going to be a big blue button that says, hey, why don't you come over here and try it out? And I'll tell you, this is the reason you want to be in beta.
Hey, Matt, Dixon Hoffman wants to know if you still do all your editing offline.
I do. Yeah. I edit videos in Final Cut Pro, and I upload the output of Final Cut Pro to YouTube.
I don't think they're ever going to have a full-blown editing.
Well, they do have a very minimal editor, which can essentially only do trimming of your video. And it also can do all of the YouTube features. Like, that's what they wanted to put in first. So here I have the editor within Studio Beta. There's a special button over. I use the dark theme, but you see the editor button on the side.
Yep.
If you select just a single video, you'll get that editor option. Say I have a single video. This isn't channel wide. I've selected this particular video. And then you can add end screens and stuff here, and you can trim. So like, say you wanted to like cut this out, or if you wanted to trim it, there's a trim button, and then you can cut your video off and hit save and do all that good stuff. And so it's minimal editing. It looks like you can tweak the waveform of the audio a little bit, but you would never want to rely on this for your editing. It's too primitive. But they wanted a way to bring cards and end screens into the same interface. And a lot of people rightfully complained that when you're on the old way, you have to go to, I'm not going to be able to get to it quick. You had to go to two screens. You had to go to one screen to do the cards, and you had to go to a second screen to do the end screens. Cards and end screens cards are that little eye icon that flies out a panel, and then you can put videos on there. It seemed clunky, so they listened to the advice of the users, and they're trying to put both of those things into this editor that I just showed on the black screen. But I hardly go to editor now because I do all my editing over on Final Cut Pro, and that's what I like. But
yeah, I think it would be a disaster to try to upload a video, especially because it's done on the internet. So everything's going to be 10 times slower and more clunky just trying to do anything on the internet compared to what if you did it on your own computer.
In many ways, and this is a gross oversimplification, but in many ways, video editing is the reason computers still exist as we know it. They're trying to make everything iPhone and iPad related. That's what Apple wants to do. They want to get rid of MacBook Pros, and they want to just sell you a souped up iPad as your computer, and everything's going to be apps through the App Store instead of installing,
Bob Lee is asking if he'll still be able to use YouTube Studio when they change over.
No. You will not be able to use the classic version of Studio after they change over at some unknown date this calendar year. There will be one day in June where just the analytics are going to force you to the new side. You can still do some of the others. You can still do your live streaming on this unknown midday in this mid-month June date. You're still going to be able to go to live streaming and account preferences and comments. Like all that's going to stay in classic, but just the if you want analytics on that one day, they're going to boot you over. And then Bob, once they do the cutover and classic goes away completely, you're hosed. You will only be able to use beta. So that's what they've been saying. And I believe them because when YouTube says something, it happens. They don't blow smoke. They're very careful what they communicate to the public. If they say they're going to do it, they do it.
Matt, I think a month or two or so ago, you had said something on one of your shows about them changing Hangouts.
Changing what?
Google Hangout.
Yeah, there's been rumors going around that Hangouts on Air is going to go away, and it really has me baffled because what an awesome way to bring in 10 panel members, a host and 9 other panel members. And the threat was that that's going to go away, and you would have to cobble together this type of interactive environment with 10 people with OBS or some other type.
Well, it's not a rumor. You can look it up on Google. Yeah. It tells you right there that they're going to do away with it.
Pretty harsh.
Yeah. That'll definitely put a kink in my show.
OBS is open source, and it's still beta, I think. I don't even think it's full release product. It's just good enough that everyone uses it. So
and the next thing is when you use OBS for live streaming, unless you could come up with some way, you're not going to have the 10 panel members. You'll be able to live stream, but it'll just be you, and you'll just ask questions from the chat and everything.
It'll be like Twitch.
Skype used to be so good until Microsoft got it and then ruined it. They paid.
So, I mean, I'm not worried about it right now. I'm not fretting over it, but I do know that they have threatened. But now, if you go back in time, they've actually threatened this for the last couple of years that they're going to do away with it. Now, they have cropped it back somewhat as far as using it or how you use it. but they haven't done away with it. And I really think if YouTube does away with Google Hangouts and this thing concept that we have right here tonight, they're going to be making a big mistake.
I think so too. It'll definitely keep a lot more people away from the platform because those shows won't happen. But you know, I think they're blinded by gaming, streamed gaming.
Yeah.
That genre, whatever you want to call it, is so lucrative. And on paper, it sounds so ridiculous. Why would an audience want to watch someone play a video game? But you know what? As crazy as that sound, and this isn't speculation, this is fact, people love it. People watch other people do video games through streaming, through OBS,
Yep.
which is what they're going to give you your only option once they take away Hangouts on Air. It's a sport in every aspect. It's a sport, and it's a spectator sport. It doesn't sound like it would be on paper, but there's no doubt about it. It is. And Google had a standalone YouTube gaming environment. They built a second site called YouTube Gaming, and they had a second app called YouTube Gaming with its own rules. And you know, the membership program used to be, well, it still is. If you're a gamer and your requirements to take money from your fans is much lower than, you know, Jane and Joe YouTuber like us. So they're rolling out that they're treating them with kid gloves. They're giving the gamers but the point is they've rolled that together now. So now the separate gaming app and the separate gaming website for YouTube is now rolled in and integrated into YouTube because it's so lucrative.
Hey, Russ, would you read the inside chat? Go ahead, Matt. I'm sorry.
Okay, all good. All right. So, yeah, I hope they don't take away Hangouts on Air, which is the product you're looking at right now on the Let's Talk Shop with Russ show, the Hangouts on Air with the 10 panel members. I hope it doesn't go away. Apparently it's going to, I don't know when. And, you know, I with some advanced skills, I think you could cobble something together with multiple OBS users. Every host would have to have OBS, and then you would have to do something to kind of merge it all together and kind of build what they did. But I mean, this is an impressive product. I mean, I know we take it for granted, but 10 people?
That's a lot of people will be affected by that if they did it, because there's multiple groups that do this kind of stuff.
I know. But I mean, just the technology to pull it off. I mean, we've got 10 webcams from 10 people in 10 locations, and it's streaming it out to the whole audience simultaneously. I mean, it works so flawlessly, but if you really think about what's happening and the engineering stuff just to sustain it, one, to build it, to write the code the first time, and two, to keep up with it, it's as flawless as it could be. I mean, I know sometimes it jitters and sometimes it hangs, but that's a minor point. I mean, it's a miracle it even happens. But yeah, it's a good product. I hope it doesn't go away.
Just 1 second. Matt, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Steve Good is locked and he can't get back in. And the problem being is to everyone that if I eject him, that's a permanent boot. In other words, he won't be able to come back in. So, yeah. Okay. So I don't know at this point what to do.
Was it just a technical error on his end?
Yeah, I think it was a technical error. That's the reason his picture showed up. And I was wondering what was going on. And I don't have my glasses on, so the inside chat's worthless to me, guys. So anyway, but I did once. Paul said to read it. So I don't know what to do as of yet, because once it'd be like if I ejected Paul can't come back in for the rest of the show. It's like I booted him out. You've been a bad boy, kind of thing. Okay. So if I hit the eject button, here's no hopes of him coming back in. So
have him reboot his computer. It should knock him off of this.
I would think so. If he, Steve, if you're listening and can hear us, I think if you like rebooted your computer, which would drop the whole signal
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
and
should
come
tell.
back.
That should break it enough where you can come back in. But once I hit that eject, you're out of here.
Oh,
You
he
ain't
says
coming
he
back
did
to
reboot in the chat. So
Oh, he did reboot. I don't have the answer to that. Then,
V-Link crashed. He must be Wi-Fi with
yeah,
a.
I don't have the answer to that.
Steve Good, go Ethernet, brother.
Okay, send another login. Somebody send him another login
I'm
link.
going to do it right now.
Yeah, to see if. But I do know that if I boot somebody, they don't come back. For the rest of the show. Now they can come on the next show or whatever. But for this show, it's like, you've been a bad boy. You're out of here. So anyway, I hated to interrupt you, Matt. I just want to get...
Well, I'll do other things besides, make visual presentations of the changes of the interface. I will sometimes go on a topic like something marketing related, and I'll do videos on that. And of course, I have the live stream every Monday at 7, which this is the first show on Monday. What is Monday, the 6th? No, the 3rd.
Yeah.
Monday the 3rd is the first show, and it's all future live streams are going to be on the All Things YouTube channel. Not on all Awesome Wood Things, but on
Great
Things YouTube.
But do you think that with the Google Hangouts might be phased out, you think that everybody could get in there and give an email to the YouTube gurus?
Well,
and complain about that? Would that help?
There will be videos on what you can do to pull the strings at YouTube to bring it back. People will say, here's the path of what you can do. The Twitter account is one. The help forum's the other. I mean, there's ways you can get information, and even on the interface itself, there's always the feedback button. Here, I'll show you.
Yeah, but the bad thing about it is you can't send an actual email directly to YouTube saying, "Hey, if you eliminate this, I'll never watch you again." There's just no way to do that.
You're right. You're right. And there are what, 2 billion channels. I mean, it's hard to get a person. Let me just put it that way.
Exactly.
But, people are watching the official Twitter, YouTube, and they do look at those send feedback tickets that I showed earlier. And, some of the big people that if you get big enough, they'll assign you an account manager where you'll have a real person you can connect to.
Yeah, but how many people do you have to have? I mean, how many subscribers do you have?
Well over 100,000. I'm not sure what the number is, but what I'm saying is, those people could, on behalf of the community, raise the issue.
And I agree. And let it be known, like we're saying tonight, YouTube, if you do away, or let me change back over to me. If you do away with Google Hangouts, you're going to destroy my show, and you suck.
I already told him it didn't matter.
Yeah. So I mean, but
yeah, and so I hope that doesn't happen. I hope that doesn't happen. But there's 2 main YouTube things I want to communicate out to the world, because this is gold. Do you want some golden tips on how to be awesome on YouTube?
Sure.
So
golden tip.
This is the tippy top. And now, to set the first topic up, YouTube is doing nice things with the television industry and the music industry. I mean, there's no secret that the trending tab, so if you go to youtube.com, the homepage, there's a trending tab or a trending shelf of videos. It's all old media, television shows. It's Late Night with Jimmy Kimmel and all the bigwigs. And it's not fair, because we've got some killer content from creators that aren't YouTube that should be in there. And Susan Wojcicki's letter to the community, once a quarter, she has a blog post with all the things she's dealing with from the top of YouTube. And she said, look, we're going to try and make that trending tab 50% creators and 50% television. It's a start. I think it should just be all on merit, because I'll tell you what, some of the stuff creators do are way better than anything that television does. So people are kind of cheesed off about that, and rightfully so. They're not playing fair. But my killer golden advice is go get eyeballs off YouTube. You've got to go get your audience and pull them to your YouTube channel, to your YouTube videos. That's the key. If YouTube gives you some promotion and YouTube puts you in recommended, or YouTube puts you in search results, because that's kind of how they help you. When someone types something into the YouTube search and hits return and you get a bunch of search results, which are your videos, they'll put your video in the search. That's kind of like step one of how they help you. Step two of how they help you is they'll put you in recommended. Step three is they'll push you out to trending. So that's kind of like the tiers. And people are saying, look, I'm not getting that help. I'm not getting that help. Well, you know what? Go get your audience off YouTube, and there's no one right answer. Do you have Twitter? Push it out on your Twitter audience. Do you have Instagram? Push it out on your Instagram audience. Are you running in a bunch of different groups on Facebook? Push it out to there. Reddit. There's a lot of good and bad at Reddit, mostly bad, but you can use it to pull in eyeballs. Did you make something in a shop, a craft, or a woodworking project? Do you have an Instructable? An Instructable is a separate website, which is its own social media, but on how to do instructions. That you can embed videos in that. You can pull eyeballs in there. You got to go. Oh, Imager. You can put stuff on Imager. Home Talk. Home Talk is like a Instructables website. You got to put your stuff out there and pull them in to your channel. And this is the way I think about it. This is the tip. If YouTube gives you a little boost, that's just gravy on top of everything. That's the right mindset. So yes, you can complain about the unfairness that YouTube's giving the big television studios. It's a valid complaint, but you know what? Don't let that stop you. Go out, get your audience off platform and bring them to you. And I've been starting to use email too. Email is old school, baby, but believe me, it's effective. And there are free email tools out there, free email. Well, with 2,000 or fewer, I use MailChimp. Love it. So, and that's the thing, this is a platform. You're on their platform and YouTube controls your audience. Well, your subscriber list, it's kind of hard to tell who your subscribers are. And that's by design because YouTube's like, no, we'll worry about that. But an email list, you've got direct access to people on your email list because they've put themselves on it. And it's something I think is not going away. And it's something I think is still very effective. So all of my channels are going to have their own email list. And I'm going to put hot tips. Like I said earlier, I'm going to maybe put worksheets with lots of data that can't be expressed easily and little tiny posts around the internet. You need like long form stuff. Email's going to be a big piece of that. And I started a link sharing. So if you have a website and you build something, you can put your link on awesomewiththings.com. And I have a little form you fill out that you can do that. And I made some technology under the hood that makes it easy for me to insert you in there, because the more stuff on the internet that points down to you, the more Google thinks you're an authoritative source on the subject. So if you have a website and no one's pointing to your stuff and someone does a keyword search on google.com and you've got the perfect article, they'll surface your article less if no one's pointing to you. But if a bunch of people are pointing down to your website, they're like, oh, awesome, that's better. So it's search engine optimization, SEO. I know that's like a bad word, but it's like the legit way to do it. So if you want to do that, that's fine. So that's the first thing. The first golden piece of information is get your audience off of YouTube and bring them to your video. Then the algorithm has no choice to ignore you because you're going to get watch time. It'll be like, oh, people are watching this. And you know what? Sharing is huge, because if because YouTube is connected to google.com, and google.com is connected to the internet. So if the internet sees links to your YouTube videos on these different platforms that are internet visible, that's a signal that, oh, that YouTube video is being talked about in all these places. So when you share something, it's pretty valuable. You know, if you share a video of a creator you like, that's doing a heck of a lot. Now, of course, you should put likes and you should comment. All of these are little signals that give YouTube a hint that you're doing good. So get your audience off YouTube. Tip number 1.
Hey, talk about which. Don't forget to give a thumbs up.
Yeah. I made this little banner here. There's a little icon.
Yeah, give me a thumbs up, by the way.
Yeah.
And you're right. I am the most guilty person in this situation, and I'll tell you why. Is because I'm in a point in my life, and when I started this channel, and we talked about this in the pre-show, that I realized real quick that I wasn't going to be one of those channels that made $1 million or $500,000 a year or even $100,000 a year. And it didn't take me long to come into reality of that. And I would be willing to say that most of our channels aren't. But my point being is what has been driving me is the sheer fact of meeting so many wonderful people, having a panel full of wonderful friends and stuff, having all y'all out there in the chat, which I consider all y'all my wonderful friends. So that kind of has put me into this lackadaisical. How do you pronounce that? Lackadaisical attitude that I am not getting out there and watching other people's, even on this panel, and I'll admit it, videos and sharing and chat and commenting and doing as much as I probably should. So that being said, it's after watching and talking to Matt, and he has brought up a whole new thing, I'm realizing to myself that, okay, so I've decided I'm in a stalemate. If my channel grows, it grows. If it don't, it don't. I would love for it to grow. Don't get me wrong. But my point is maybe I could help my friends. So that by listening to Matt and listening to what he's been talking about on his channel and talking about tonight has made me to decide, yeah, I think now I'm going to start, liking and sharing and doing other stuff for the other channels, just out of sheer consideration that if I'm okay. If my channel grows, it grows. If it don't, it don't. Trust me, I want it to grow. I'm not telling you don't subscribe or don't do anything. But my point is, it's making more of a definite impression on me as to help others and go out there and do this kind of stuff. So,
another concept that speaks to that, Ross, is the sheer volume of new YouTubers and content that's being uploaded that competes with you. Every month, it's harder to be noticed because there's more content. So people are kind of saying, oh, the boogeyman, or the mean algorithms, they're changing it. Well, a lot of it has to do with there's just a lot more stuff. So you got to rise up above, and every month is getting harder than the last because there's
you're right. I would like to see a thing that said how many new people open up new channels on a month-to-month basis on YouTube.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
I think that the subject matter that we are usually tied together with, woodworking, not necessarily crafting or anything like that, but I mean, there's only so many people that are going to watch woodworking videos. So if you're not branched out, and I don't have any cats, so I'll never be big time, but only, if you think about it, there's a handful of us in the group that we're all associated with and friends with that are up in the 6-figure, subscriber count, but look at who they are: DeResta, April Wilkerson, Izzy, guys like that.
yeah, if you branch out, you branch out on a second channel. Don't put multiple.
Very good point.
In fact, like you did. Yes.
Like you did. Exactly like you did. Yep.
And you know, it's tough because once you start a new channel, you're not in the YouTube Partner Program, the YPP, YouTube Partner Program. That's where they share ad revenue with the content creator, because YouTube will get the ads and they'll put it on your video and they'll make money from the person who's buying the ad. They share that revenue with you. That's the YouTube Partner Program. New channels don't get that until they have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours over the last year. So guess what? No super chats for me on Monday, but you know, I'm tired of bleeding, you know, a handful of subscribers, because rightfully so. Like my router table video on Awesome with Things, killing it. It's been killing it for months. So people are watching how to build their own cheap, inexpensive, dead-on accurate router table, and then they're like, "Yeah, I'm subscribing to Matt. Awesome with Things is great. I love this content." And then they're on YouTube on Monday nights. They see me talking about YouTube. They're like, "That's not what I signed up for. Unsubscribe." So they are rightfully unsubscribing. And
then you have me over here breaking all the rules.
Well, Brenda, yeah.
Is that free advice or good advice, Brenda?
You know, I mean, I got the support stream, I've got the comedy, I've got the crafts, I do product reviews.
You feel like,
you know, I'm doing it all, and I'm getting support.
Yep. And you know, here's the thing. You know, no one piece of advice, no one strategy is going to break you out into success. It's all about incrementally getting better. And with so much competition, if you're just a little bit better than the next guy, that could be substantially better for you. So just think of that. Think of everything, all of these strategies, as you're just moving the needle. You're a little more polished, you know, you're a little more targeted, your thumbnails and your titles are a little bit better, a little more enticing. That's what we're talking about here. You know, even the link sharing. I mean, that's not going to make or break your channel, but it could get you 5 more views here, 10 more views there. One of those views could be a lifetime watcher, a fan of you. You know, moving the needle. All right, I got hot tip number 2 if you're ready for it.
Yeah,
here we go. Here we go.
This is the money. This is what you move.
I would say I'm writing it down, but I can go watch the video and know what it is. So.
There you go. Yeah. Now, a lot of people might know what it is because I say it a lot. But look at all of this metadata. They'll tell you where people are watching from. They'll tell you what ages they are, what gender they are, if stuff's coming in from playlists, what devices are people watching by TV or tablet or computer. And you know, it's kind of overload, but you know what, there's only 2 that matter. There's only really 2 that you can make substantial decisions on, and that is, let me kind of shrink this screen up so you can see it a little bit better. Hopefully you can see this top line here. It's click-through rate. And then over here is average percent viewed. Those 2 will tell you 95% of what you need to be successful. Let's talk about click-through rate. Click-through rate is the percentage of people who saw your thumbnail on the interface and clicked it. Click-through rate. Because let's face it, you got to get people clicking your stuff. If they don't click your stuff, you're dead in the water. That's the click your stuff metric. This should be above 8 to be uber successful. 8's very, very difficult. And then this metric, average percent viewed, is how much of the video someone actually watched on average of everyone who watched it. This has 57 views. So out of those 57 people, they've watched it on average 60% of the time. You want this above 50. Those are the 2 numbers you want to pay attention to. And you want to make decisions on how you can get those 2 numbers up. What's click-through rate? How do you get that one up? Well, you make your thumbnail and your title more enticing, because that's the decision point. Everyone watching this show, what do you do to decide if you want to watch a video? You look at the thumbnail and you read the title, or you do both of those things or one of those two things. But that's the way in.
I have a question, Matt.
Yeah.
What happens, and I guess as far as click-through rate, what happens if somebody's watching it, but they're sitting there skipping through the video?
Oh, redlining?
And
Yeah.
they get the whole thing, but yeah.
No, it's not who made it to the end. It's the percentage of viewed. So if you watched, if it was 100 seconds long and you watched 25 seconds of the video all skipped around, you're at 25%.
Okay, so it takes those little pieces.
Oh, it will. It will. And if you have a critical piece of information and you blow past it, people will rewind to hear this thing again. Like if you leave a code or something, like, or if there's a contest and you say, write this term in the comments and I'll pick a winner for a free giveaway. You shouldn't do contests. Giveaways are okay because they're no cost to enter. People will rewind, and then you can get more. That will boost your percentage watched. So that
put a baker or something in their video and they had to go back in there. Was that you? Yeah, it was you, wasn't it?
Yeah, I drop a face of a famous YouTuber in like a 1 second preview, and I'm like, if you find this person's face, the first one that chimes in, I'll give you a free virtual taco or something like that. And people will do it just for sport. And sure enough, they'll go back and they'll rewatch. And so when you look at your graph, it actually goes up and down. That's where people rewound to. So the point is, you need both. You need average percent viewed, and you need the click-through rate. You can't have one or the other. Like if your click-through rate is off the charts high, but people are like, this video sucks, I'm only watching 10% of it, and they're jumping off. That's not good. That's not good at all. Or if only a small number of people watch your stuff, but they watch it all the way through, but that's not good either. You need both. Once they get to that level, YouTube says, okay, something's going on here.
They're asking in the chat, does the speed rate that you watch matter? I normally watch most videos at 1.5 speed.
Nope, doesn't matter. So do I. I watch 1.75, 1.5, 1.25, depending on how fast the host talks. I'll change the speed all the time. Doesn't matter. That doesn't hurt or hinder. But those are the two metrics. And those two metrics ultimately lead to watch time. And that is what YouTube pays attention to. But you as a creator, you have to focus on the two things that lead to watch time, and that's click-through rate and average percent viewed. Those two things will equal watch time. And if you get a lot of watch time, listen, there was a time when the rumor was YouTube likes 10-minute long videos, make your stuff 10-minute long. Well, some creators would do a 4-minute video and they would tack on a 6-minute slideshow of their old projects. Guess what? No one's sitting through that 6-minute slideshow. That's ridiculous. The average percent viewed goes way down. That's bad for you. So here people are thinking, I'm making my videos 10 minutes. Someone said this, shooting themselves in the foot.
So what about the inverse? If you make a video a minute long, let's say, how does that help or hurt?
I always say you make your video length the length it needs to be that people will watch it from beginning to end. If your content's 2 minutes or a minute, make sure they watch it from beginning to end. You can even do little things to entice them to stay on the end. One YouTuber would show her animals at the end as like a goodbye type thing, and people wanted to see the little puppies at the end. Yeah. So they would wait. Some people tell jokes. Some people have trivia. Some people have movie quotes.
Some people have bloopers at the end of their video.
Some people put the punchline at the end.
Yeah, you go. Brenda, sometimes you do follow the conventional wisdom.
I put bloopers at the end of a couple of my videos, and those were the best performing videos because
exactly.
And they like the video.
The point is they're watching to the end. Another tactic you could do is just stop. as soon as you say a jumping off word like, well, thank you, everyone, or you recap what you just said. In summary, remember, I said this. That's a signal to like, oh, I can skip to the next one now. Don't do that. The best thing you can do, like take a woodworking channel, for example. You're talking about the project right up. You can even put the suggested video, like the end card stuff can even go around you, and you're still talking to the camera, giving content, not recapping. Don't do any of that stuff. And you just, the best thing you could do is have your viewer say, oh crap, it ended. It ended right away. Well, I want to watch more. See, it's kind of like, it might seem bad to kind of cut it off abruptly, but it's actually so good because people will want more of your stuff. So just give content right up to the end, or do a hook thing at the end that people will say, and don't do any of these, well, thanks everyone. Remember to do, or if you do stuff, it's gotta be fast. Like the last 6 seconds, jam it all in there. Because people don't have time. There's so much content out there. I'm jumping to the next one. I'm guilty of it too. Give that content right up to the end, because that's helping your average percent viewed.
Right.
Yep. I look at my videos, and then right there toward the end they start to dip because I telegraph that it's over, and I'm trying not to do that. It's hard. It's hard. Yeah. So those are the two golden tips. Those are the two pieces of metadata you want to look at, and go get your audience off of YouTube and bring them to YouTube. And if YouTube does nicey nice to you, that's gravy. Don't wait for them to be nice to you. Don't get mad when they're not nice at you. Go get your audience. That's the way to play it.
Yeah, you have to realize YouTube is big enough and bad enough that not any one single person, even some of the big boys, will hurt them if they say, hey, I'm not going to be here anymore, or I'm tired of YouTube. There's just so much content, so many people out there watching so many videos. And it's been proven. There's been a few of the higher content creators done some really bad stuff, and YouTube snatched them off. So
yeah, if you go against the guidelines, or if you damage the platform, they'll take swift action. But
yeah, that's what my point is. So don't ever think that we or any one single person is not expendable, or you can't do away with them. So you have to play within their guidelines. You have to understand what they're doing, and that's the reason I had Matt on tonight. And
I'll tell you what, even though YouTube kind of has it in good, and they're getting this special treatment, and it sucks, blah blah blah. But you know what? The independent creator, the stuff is so much better. There are hundreds of people doing news commentary, like breaking events. They'll call up a blog post and they'll talk about it. It's a guy or a girl with one camera, and they're crushing it. Not just a few. You could CNN, like and traditional media, they publish their numbers. They publish how many people watched their show in a given hour, and the YouTubers are doubling, tripling, quadrupling this. And it's not just a handful, it is hundreds of. They cannot compete. Big television, big news cannot compete with a smart, savvy, independent creator, and they know it. They know, and they're scared, and they're laying off people. Have you seen what's happening in journalism? It is going down the toilet.
It's not only because of that, it's also because of their bias and other kind of crap that's going on behind the scenes. They're lying.
And it's actually one side of the political spectrum is hurting, and the other side is going gangbusters.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah,
I don't want to talk politics, but I'm just saying, like, if you're on the wrong side of the political, your blogs are going down. Disney bought Vox for $400 million, and they're writing it off. You know, all these things are closing. TechCrunch is laid off 200 people, and you know, BuzzFeed's laying off people. The gaming channels are laying off. It's journalism. Big journalism is in big time trouble. And I'm telling you, these independent creators on YouTube, they're crushing it.
If you go back though and look at to see how CNN started, you know, all the way back to the beginning, it was very successful because it didn't have a super hierarchical, however you say that, I'm pulling a Russ here, but structure to it. So if they needed to throw people out on site to do something real quick, the guy that's in charge of the room just says, yeah, send them out there. You know, and they would get people out on site and they would get the news out there really quick. They didn't have all that overhead to go through and decision-making layers to go through.
Yeah,
and now that same type of thing, you know, where you just got one guy with a camera, like you said, is it's kind of interesting to see it, you know.
CNN's over. They had a soft layoff, which is they'll buy out your contract and give you a nice package if you voluntarily leave. That was on the 3rd of May. And then 2 weeks later, there were a few hundred people laid off, and then a week after that, the whole health division shut down, and a week after that, there were more layoffs. It's hurting, and YouTube's killing it. These people on YouTube are, especially it's the late breaking stuff. I mean, that's another way to play it. You could do evergreen content, like I made a video on how to tear apart a DeWalt scroll saw on Awesome Wood Things, and most videos about tearing apart a scroll saw are multiple hours long. I crammed it all down into 9 minutes, and like that's evergreen. Like you're going to get video that's going to stay relevant forever. That's one way to play YouTube. Another way to play YouTube is only talk about current events. Then your stuff's only relevant for
exactly
4 days. But if these people are pumping out 3 videos a day,
they have to.
And you know, so what? Their video in 3 weeks isn't getting any views. It just absorbed every eyeball in day one, and it's insane.
Yeah,
people are like, YouTube's gonna break out, and it's already here. Like YouTube has already made it. It is where it needs to be, and old media is hurting. And really, all things YouTube is my attempt to make your content better, to make the platform better, to crush conventional television. I don't like conventional television. I
have gotten to the point where I don't like it anymore. And conventional news is because, like we were talking about when Jim was talking about CNN, the reason CNN grew so very fast and grew so awesome in the very beginning was just like he said, they just shoot people out everywhere, and they were this unconventional, almost YouTube-like company where they were just sending people out. But then when they became bigger, they got political. And a lot of these, like Fox and everybody else, is starting to do that. And a lot of people in the United States are getting tired of that crap. If I want to go to Matt Haas's YouTube channel and I want to hear what he has to say, even if he's one-sided on the left or on the right, I'm going to his YouTube channel and I'm listening to what he has to say. If I want to go to Brenda's, I want to go to Chris, if I want to go to Katie's, whatever, my point is, you have the option of going there and listen to what that person has to say. Yeah. Not on broadcast. They've become so political and so unjust, and you know that I think is another reason why YouTube is growing so rapid and so fast.
If you're genuine and providing value, you'll grow an audience and you'll blow these big companies
I agree.
out of the water. YouTube's already made it. And with their YouTube Premium, with their premium content, I think that Cobra Kai is just spectacular. That's a series that you got to pay to be in the YouTube Premium program. You pay them $10 or $11 or $12 a month, and you don't get any ads, but you also get access to the free it's like Netflix, only inside of YouTube. That it's something else. YouTube even has a TV product now, YouTube TV, where you can watch television stations through YouTube. That's a separate product you have to buy into. It's not very good yet, but the point is they're marching in the right direction. And it's Comcast and Verizon Fios. it's gone. I mean, this
Just to let everybody know, Paul dropped out. He said that it was storming in his area, and he just wanted to, I guess, play it safe. I mean, when you thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening. Yeah. I think that
at this wedding, they had Bohemian Rhapsody on piano and violin during dinner, and then the dance floor, they had Prince's Kiss song. I was like, I think this is the funnest wedding I've ever been to.
Yeah.
This is where I was before the show. But
you were talking about the general what will attract your people. And to me, if I were going to try to produce something, I would probably go back and look at the people that I watch most as far as length. And there's some videos out there that the content I really like, but the background music just, you know, can be a little overpowering, to be polite about that. And while there are some videos that need to be short, there's some videos that are pretty long because they stay interesting. They hold my interest, and finding that that niche and that, you know, what it is that holds people, it can be a real challenge.
It can be a challenge, and there's no one right answer, because you've got to figure that out yourself. You can start publishing videos, use the analytics, the two that I told you, to guide yourself on how to move the needle to get that better. But you're right. I mean, Mark Lindsay, CNC, he's got long form education videos. It's dry. Here's every click you need to do. His videos are 25, 30 minutes long. His audience watches the whole thing. They want to know all of what he's saying, and they rewatch it because they want to, you know, they learn it day one, then they're in the shop a week later and they play it back. And that's
well, he stays on subject, he stays on task, and these steps are important, you know, so that would work. And there's a content maker called Mr. Chickadee. I just love to watch his videos, and they're, you know, in the 10, 20-minute range maybe. He never says a word.
Yeah.
And there's no background music.
And there's a woodworking channel that's conventional tools, no power tools, nothing plugged in.
Mr. Chickadee is it's all hand tools.
If he puts background music, people unsubscribe. Like there's different rules for different types of audiences, and you got to figure it out.
Each channel that makes it is almost as unique as the individual. In other words,
exactly.
They chose that little tiny way of doing it with nothing but hand tools, like what's his name? Wright.
Jim
Wright. Jim or James.
Yeah, made by Wright.
Right.
Wood by Wright.
Wood by Wright.
Yeah. So he chose a little niche. He chose to do it by hand tools, and he broke out into that.
Yeah.
And everything he does, a lot of people, he's got a lot of viewers, a lot of people watching, and that's fantastic. So every once in a while, you can break the rules, but it's when you break the rules, it has to be that little tiny niche that just makes it so fantastic and wonderful that everybody wants to watch and everybody joins on board.
Whatever rule you have to give your audience what they want, that's not breaking the rules.
Yeah.
His audience wants old-timey music for 8 seconds in the beginning of the video and then silence and him talking. And that's working for that audience.
Yep.
He's not touching it. Other videos want to do the snappy cinematic stuff for 4 minutes, and that's working. That's good.
Yeah.
Long form instructional stuff that people watch and rewatch, that's good too. No one is better or worse than the other. Yeah. What you can't do is you can't not give, if your audience wants a short video cinematic and you're meandering, like I say, cut out the fluff. I consider it like, this is going to sound nasty, like sewage treatment. You want to like process, when you're editing, you want to remove the fluff and make it tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter until it's all critical, no extra stuff in there. So
I see you seen Luana.
Yeah, she's saying, I think her question is, am I going to get into do all the stuff right, sound and the basics? Yes. All things YouTube is also going to cover how to do the content correctly, how to, how lighting and audio and what makes a good edit, what makes a bad edit, meaning what's engaging for someone to watch versus what's long and painful and frustrating. Yeah. Anything that makes you better on YouTube, including the content itself. It's not just all analytics. I love analytics, but it's going to be how to make your stuff better.
I'd like to make a point here too. Your content has to be phenomenal on whatever it is that you're doing to keep people interested, but you are also your own brand. When you are putting out a video, you're putting yourself out there as well, and your public has to like you in order to enjoy your videos. If you're doing a speaking thing, if you're just doing all videography, then your personality probably doesn't have a whole lot to do with it other than what you're putting on the screen. But if you're putting yourself out there, you're putting your brand out there as well. And I think a lot of people miss that point when they're putting out videos because they're dry, they're bland. They don't give the audience anything to really hang on to. They think that they're just putting a video up on YouTube and the world's going to be the path to their door. And it doesn't work that way. You have to build your brand with your own personality.
Yeah. People are savvy. They are really sharp. And if you're dialing it in and you think you're Mr. or Mrs. Charming, they can tell. They can really tell. And I've said to myself early on, if I'm not having a blast in the workshop, I'm not doing it, because I am jazzed about what I make, because I really am jazzed about what I'm making. I'm not dialing it in. And if I ever get to that point, I'm going to back it off. But I love expressing myself in physical mediums, even stuff that isn't quite done yet, because my artistic ability, a lot of it's been on the computer. So having something physical is just something I love to do. And I'm having a blast in the shop, and I'm taking people on that experience. But you're right, man. You gotta love what you're doing, and it's got to be genuine, and it's a brand, and you got to push your brand. And as I get older, 80% of life, not just being successful on YouTube, it's marketing. Marketing is so critical, because if you can't get people to help you out in this world, that's kind of what marketing is. Like, hello, this is me. If you can't get marketing down, then you can't survive on YouTube or anywhere else. That's why I'm like, get your stuff out there on social media and pull in the eyeballs. And everything as Brenda said, your brand on the video is so important. I have the same color. I mean, I've done logo design, for a long time. So, and I'm like, these little stickers here, I don't know if you can see them. No, you just can't see them. Like, I put the hex code of the color that I use. So all of my branding is the bang on, is the same color. And the fonts too. Like, I'm very consistent with the brand. It's a brand.
Right.
One of the comments that I get on a lot of my videos is that you are very unique. I have never seen anybody do the things that you do. I have never seen anybody put the same thumbnail up with just a different episode for 116 episodes before. I've never seen anybody do 1-minute videos, as many as you do, and get the following that you get. I'm doing what other people don't do.
They're zigging and you're zagging, Brenda.
That's right. So you got to be unique. You got to do what everybody else ain't doing.
Yep, exactly.
Hey, you know how you catch a unique rabbit?
Unique up on it.
Unique up on him.
Unique up on him.
Yeah, unique up on it. Real quick, Steve Good asked a question, and let's go back to it. He said, YouTube has creator handlers who will walk you through many of the things they think are critical. Mine calls me every month. They are very knowledgeable. Matt, do you have have you spoken to a handler?
No, you need to be a pretty big player in order to have a handler.
Yeah, I think you have to have at least 10,000 subscribers to your channel before they start issuing handlers.
Yeah. No, I wish I did, but I don't. But I would hope.
One of these days. One of these days.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I would hope that everything a handler would tell you is something you could discover on your own. But I don't know. I don't have a handler. But
Actually, you got yourself as a handler, Matt.
I was gonna say, you're your own handler.
Yeah, exactly.
And I could really push Awesome Wood Things a lot harder than I do. But like I could practice what I preach a little bit more. But like I said, I'm trying to be successful. I'm trying to make it a monetary good thing for me, but it's going at my pace, and I want to make sure I remain happy and thrilled with the craft that I'm doing. So it's like I could rocket this thing into the stratosphere, or at least try. But I'm taking it slow with that. But
well, it goes back to what I said about my channel.
Yeah.
I realized a long time ago that I'm not going to be the next gamer. I'm not going to be that or this, and so I became comfortable with doing what I'm doing. I have been successful at what I'm doing, and I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. So, would I like to have 100,000, 200,000 subscribers? Well, hell yeah, I'd love to. But in the same aspect, I lost track of or sight of really trying to grow more, and just came stagnated or just happy with where I'm at. And so I think a lot of channels do that. They have great ambitions in the beginning, and then when they get to a point, then they realize, well, this is not going quite as good or far as I thought. Then they kind of plane out and just hang in there. So
yeah, it's you could take inspiration from people. I mean, look at Steve Carmichael, for example. He has a wood shop video or a maker video, and he'll drop a video once a month maybe, and he's got 80-some thousand subscribers, and he's it's working for him. There's one little animation video that they do a 3-minute video once every 2 months, gets 10 million views each time. I mean, that's not dropping something every week. There's all kinds of ways to play it, but the point is your audience needs to watch it. They need to watch your stuff.
Right.
They need to watch it all.
All right. Before we get off of here, one thing that I would like to point out too is Matt, you have a partner in crime that you have joined up with, and well, y'all kind of joined together. I won't say that you joined with her or she joined with you, but anyway, my point is with Brenda over at Brenda G's Designs, and I'm going to let Brenda talk about that just for a few minutes. But yeah, I think that's pretty cool. So, Brenda, you and Matt have joined up together, and y'all do, what is it?
Mind Equals Blown.
Mind Equals Blown on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It's a live stream, goes for about an hour and a half. It is a support stream. It is a variety channel show where we talk about facts. They should be true facts. They're not always true. And we just kind of joke and play off each other and play off the audience as well. And everybody just joins in and has a real good time and gains some channel support and meets new friends there on our live stream on Thursday nights.
Cool. Yeah, Brenda and I have good energy back and forth. We really, I think we have something unique going, and I look forward to it. I am having so much fun on that channel because, I love YouTube, but, I kind of break loose. I break loose on Thursday night over on Brenda G's Designs, and we meet new people, and people are dropping those interesting facts, and we riff off of them. We're like, no, that can't be true, and then it goes in a million different directions. And we talk to the people that come in, we say hi to everyone, and we give out virtual tacos. She rings the cowbell. It's you gotta see it. And some people can't watch it, and they'll watch the whole show through later. The whole show, and
they play it back.
If we're not bringing it, we stop the show. Like the energy goes to 10, and it stays there for an hour and a half.
They never know what we're going to do because we don't know what we're going to do.
And we laugh and we joke and it goes. It's I don't know.
And then they just say, Katie posted something, but we can't talk about that.
Yeah. And then Jim Dockrell gets in there, and he's just Jim Dockrell, and he'll do 10 interesting things, and then the 11th one will be like, "Whoa, Jim."
That's Jimmy.
Okay. People drop by just to see what kind of foolishness we do from one time to the next, and I've had them say right in the chat, I have never been to a live stream like this before.
Yeah,
many people say
I
that.
have watched it and been in the chat on more than one occasion, and I sometimes I'll post a few things and I'll sit back and just start reading the chat because it's interesting as hell.
I think y'all would be well served if y'all would have little Katie show up on your show one time. Just have a hell of a show with little Katie. No, that had us rolling and laughing, falling out of our chairs, and that came up here. That'd be awesome.
Little Katie needs to do her own series, is what she needs to do.
Little Katie
too much
needs
work.
to make appearances in odd places. Never know.
Hey, Katie needs to start a channel called Grouchy Old.
I think Katie will be
beautiful old lady.
I don't know where that lady part come from.
So I got the mind equals blown graphic up there now.
There you go. Mind equals blown.
It's a fun show. Thursday night, 7 p.m. It's a riot. I look forward to it.
Well, I just know that you and Brenda do that, so I wanted to point that out also.
Yeah. We were going to bounce it around between my channel one week and her channel, but I'm like, look, I don't think the woodworking people are digging it, so let's put it on yours.
And when y'all started that, I was thinking to myself, I don't know if that's such a good idea.
No.
It kind of gets confusing. You need to pick one or the other.
Yeah.
She can have it. That's I love it over there. It's working. I think it's fun. So I don't know.
Well,
Do one shenanigan, play along.
Yeah, she cracks me up on that damn Heifer Haven damn stuff that she does. And
hey, it's advice.
That's right.
Yeah.
Free advice.
It's
free advice.
What do you say? It's free advice.
I said it's free. It didn't say it'd be good.
Some of those you can kind of follow where she's going with it, but most of them she hits you like a hammer. Like I didn't see that.
Oh, the damn one with the bar and peanuts thing. That just flat out blew me away. When she said it, I was like, a peanut bar with, huh? And then when she, I was like, "Oh my god!" And my wife was sitting over there, and she goes, "What the hell?" And I went like, "You got to listen to this." And so my wife listened to it. At first she kind of like frowned, went like, "Oh," you gotta just go with it because
that's right. It is what it is. Free.
Oh, hey, let's.
It's PG-13, but borderline PG-13.
Sometimes it is pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a pretty mature 13-year-old.
That's for damn sure.
We don't say nothing that they don't already know.
That's true.
They can probably tell us a few things.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah, I agree with that. So, well, we're about to call it. And you know what? We've maintained the same amount of people watching all the way through the whole show. And they're still all out there, too.
I put a subscribe link to All Things YouTube in the inside chat. Could someone put that out in the?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just threw it up there.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Jim.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of us, the moderators, has to approve an actual link, but I caught it. Man, if you want to go ahead and put it out there again, I'll.
Yeah, no, Jim's got it out there.
Oh yeah, he's got it out there. Okay. Yeah. Actually, I just
There, I pushed it out there twice.
Oh, it worked. How cool is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have that underbar subscription equals one, sub confirmation equals 1 is a magic code you put on the end of a YouTube channel URL, and it automatically pops up the subscribe box. Little tip there.
Woohoo. Yeah, I think it was a fantastic show. Matt has given us a bunch of great information.
If anyone has any questions, you just hit me up. You know, I'm not hard to find online. Facebook/MATTHAAS. Ask me questions. Give me show ideas too. I'll take it.
Just make sure you want to know the answers to whatever you're asking, because he can be brutal.
I don't pull punches.
And by the way, Matt, it's awesome because you can type in youtube.com, all things YouTube. Bam, you're there, baby.
I did. I got the custom URL. That's right.
Yeah,
I did. That you get that at 100 subs if you request it. So I got 100 subs. Thank you for my 100 subs, internet.
Yeah, I saw that, and I started prying when you said you were like at 89 or 90, whatever. You were right there, real close. I'm like, well, damn. Let me see if I can help him get a few.
Yeah. 1,000 is the next milestone. Help me get to 1,000. Then I can start monetizing and bringing in super chats. But I'm not focused on that.
Yeah, Steve Good said, "Thanks, Matt. Nice show and good information."
I'm sorry you had tech trouble, Steve.
Yeah,
I love being on the show with you.
Had some tech trouble, and here's the thing: when I ejected him, which I knew that was going to happen,
No.
get back on. When I ejected him, he was locked out then at that point. So yeah, that's the bad thing. If you eject somebody that's in the panel, it's like you're saying you've been bad and you're out of here, and they don't come back in. Now he can come back in later on other shows, but just for this show, he won't be allowed back in. So
got it.
Either way it goes, he wasn't coming back. I'm sorry. Yeah. There's nothing we could do about that. He had some technical difficulties, and which didn't work out. So Steve says I was a bad boy. Yeah.
No, Steve.
I was a bad boy.
I can see me getting kicked off, but not Steve Good.
I think Steve's awesomeness was too much for the show to handle. Yeah. That's probably what it was.
Oh,
Katie brings up
I wanted to kick Katie's butt off here.
I mean, she brings up a good point, though. I don't know why just YouTube doesn't kick her. You know?
What did I do?
I love you, Katie.
Now they're asking what you printed.
It's Enterprise NX10, and it's kind of fuzzy. I mean,
can you hold it higher up on the frame?
I think this one. I think this one's going to be a little bit better as far as the supports. I don't have supports underneath it. I printed it vertically instead of horizontally. The support on the bottom makes it kind of rough, and I've been playing with it. I got it a little better, but trying to tweak the printer, I guess, is what I'm trying to do. Just play around a little bit.
3D printing seems like an exercise in frustration sometimes.
It makes for some really neat stuff when you actually print stuff that you need. Like on the printer, I've printed some corner brackets and a Z-stop. There are some functional things that you can actually print with it.
Oh, I got a cool thing I printed. Let me get it.
Have you printed double tetrahedrons? Paul's from Paul's Messy Workshop.
Well, single, actually.
What yours doing?
I've lost. Oh, wait. There it is right there.
Hey, there's a double tetrahedron. Nice.
But,
I dig it. I dig it. I think we're losing Jim.
Yeah, we're losing Jim. We've lost your video feed. Are you still there, Jim?
I think Jim was going to show us something.
Yeah, he said he had something to show.
Yeah,
I'm here. No, I got a couple of cool things I just printed. This is kind of cool. It's a shoe. Where the heck am I? Okay, it's a shoe for my Rio.
Oh, I see that. That is pretty cool.
The battery, right?
Yeah, but now I can attach stuff to it and suck power out of the battery and use it for work.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah,
like
that's
that
gonna be neat.
Actually works.
And then this is kind of junky, but I got tired of drill bits falling around all over the place that have these little hexagon drives on the bottom of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So these are kind of
Did you Infusion, or did you just go to Thingiverse?
I went to Thingiverse and got this because I didn't want to model this whole shoe because this part of it would have been difficult. So the top of it, I'm modeling some stuff to use for work, because at work our equipment uses a lot of like M12 cables. So these are the metric 12 millimeter sensor cables and stuff like that. So I want to be able to just power stuff off that battery.
Yeah. And you're right, man. It is very frustrating sometimes.
But once you get the thing dialed in,
exactly,
you just go over there and throw something at it and it prints it. I mean, but it does take a while sometimes to figure out what's wrong with it. I'd agree with that.
Yeah, I've had that same situation with the CNC.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
You know what though? Basically, if you make sure everything's square on these things, the bed's perfectly level, and you use the right temperature for the filament that you're using, they'll print fine. Yep.
I finally figured out on some of the projects I was doing that it was actually on the CNC I'm talking about. It was actually better if I put it down on the bed and then I put a bit in and just flattened then like a 1/16 of an inch the top surface, just because all boards will warp. I'm talking about within a matter of a few moments. So by laying it down and strapping it in and getting it ready to cut, if I would just surface it like a 1/16 of an inch to just ensure that it was nice and level, I would get much better out of it.
Yep.
So then I started realizing, okay, so I'll take, I'll say my piece is going to be a 3/4 of an inch piece. Well, I'll surface it down from like 7/8 to 3/4, and now I know it's flat, and now I'll cut it.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got a leveling bit for my Shapeoko, and it just,
run
it across the top, like you said, and it
just to make sure it looks flat. It seems flat. You strap it down, and then you start covering and discovered, damn it, it was
more on one side than on the other.
Yeah, it's like.
Well, now y'all got laser printers and see the CNC thing, and you got the 3D printer. I'm wanting a money printer.
Yeah, well, there's laws, Brenda.
Sweetheart, when you find out
that's called
you can buy a money printer, I want in on that deal.
Counterfeiting's a federal crime.
Yeah,
we'll have the Secret Service at your front door too.
Yeah,
I mean, the heck with printing out them toys and all. Let's just get down to nitty gritty and print out the cash.
Can y'all see anything here?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's pretty. Whoa.
That's the one last one I just carved. I liked it better before I painted it up. Because only thing I really like on this now is the hat. But before I painted it, it looked exactly like the image I took off of Facebook and stuff. And I don't know. I might try to do a lithophane next instead of doing it out of wood.
But why? What are you complaining about the way you painted it?
Painting is not my forte.
Yeah, but
by any means.
Sometimes painting it, okay, and something like you just did right there, it's going to go one of two ways. Is the way that I found it in my life. Is it's either going to turn out great or look cartoonish.
And I think this one looks cartoonish.
And I would agree with you.
Right.
So and that's what I've learned. Sometimes it's just like you just said in the very beginning. You think you might have been better if you just left it wood. In that situation, I would agree with you.
Yeah, I think that looks more cartoonish. I went with the paints because I didn't have any stains of those types of colors.
Right.
And stuff. So I tried to go with that. And I thought, and another guy in another CNC forum said that, why don't you try to do it as a lithophane? And I never even crossed my mind to try it that way. I've been wanting to do one, so I think that's probably what I'm going to end up doing.
Will you be able to shine light through it, or actually just have it projected, inverted, right?
Yeah, you invert the piece.
Yeah.
And you shine the light from the back, and it
Yes.
looks just like the image, man. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm gonna try that.
Okay, I got a good one. I got a good one. Hold on, time out. Aussie Man says, along with the money printer, come free room and board for about 20 years.
For about 20 years.
Yeah.
Aussie Man,
Taxpayer expense.
yeah, Aussie Man, you're exactly right. Let's go back through. Just give me one moment to go back through and talk about these wonderful people. Chris Nealon's been out there. Aussie Man, Dixon Hoffman, Luana Pierce, Steve Good, Shelly Cole has been out there in the chat. Dan Inge from Dan Inge Woodworking. I'm going back up through real quick to see. And if I miss your name, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to go back up through and see you. Moonpack Creations, Ken Moon, put out there. Yeah, know what mom knows. I'm sorry.
I think I know what Mom knows. I think I saw she's got a new video up about soap making.
Yeah, I saw that earlier today. I haven't had a chance to watch it.
Nor have I, but I thought I'd just plug that and tell everybody to look out for it.
Anyway, those are just a few of the people that have been watching. Luana Pierce has been very hot out there in the chat. She always is, and I appreciate her very, very much.
Did you just say Luana Pierce is hot?
She what?
Did you just say Luana Pierce is hot?
Yeah. It's very hot out there.
What?
Obviously, you didn't listen to the whole sentence. She was hot.
She only listens to what she wants to.
That's right.
It's
I'm selective.
Hearing is what it is.
a convenient hearing. So, Luana Pierce went, "Oh baby."
Ooh baby, ooh baby.
Yeah. Well, Leanna, if you want to hook up with Santa Claus, just let me know.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Oh,
And my wife hears this.
yes.
Big problem. Big problem.
Yeah. I'll probably be a little shorter tomorrow.
And
Well, if you need his phone number, send me a message. I have his phone number.
Yeah, and I'm we just won't go any further with that. So she's Puerto Rican, so she'll cut and slice.
Kenny earrings just come in there.
Kenny earrings? Oh yeah, Kenny earrings. Damn it, I'm late to the party.
Yes,
Yeah,
Kenny, you are.
Really late. I mean, you walk in the
Good
door,
grief.
and the last call is coming out.
But not forgotten. Late, but not forgotten.
Yeah. Chris Nealon said, and a higher voice too. Yeah, I would have a definitely higher voice. Lena Pierce says, roll on floor laughing my ass off.
Dixon Hoffman, I wonder how much of this stuff you had. Probably not a lot, but you went through 21 rolls, you're telling me, of filament.
All right.
That's
Yes.
21 rolls of filament.
21
What,
rolls.
in 1 week?
Last month, I think is what he said.
Last month.
I
21
haven't-
rolls, period. Wow.
I haven't even gone through like 4 since I've owned 3D printers yet.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I bought 6 rolls real quick, like on my 3D printer, and I think I printed 10 things, and all of them have been less than 4 inches and 3 inches in diameter. So I haven't even dented my stuff.
I got 10 rolls. And just because I wanted different colors.
Gosh.
All right, I got to get out here because I'm choking. I don't know what's got me. No, there's a little tickle in the back of my throat when my sinuses.
It's that voodoo doll that your wife has.
That's right.
Yeah, she's poking me in the ass. Is what she's doing.
She's choking you.
anyway-
Is what she's doing.
Anyway, thank you, Matt, for being on tonight.
Oh, thanks for having me as a featured guest for the second time. Appreciate
Well, and what the information, I just like you to know, I appreciate it so very much. It's very, very helpful, and everybody out there, you shared this with out there, and including, and I will be continuing to watch your All Thing YouTube, and also with that other lady that you're hooked up with.
Yeah.
Other ladies?
Hook up.
That mind blown equals something.
Debbie can.
No, wait. Define this other lady.
Hey, Debbie is actually on it.
I mean, is there something about
Anyway,
Matt that we didn't know before now?
Thank you for being
Yes.
on. I
Something
appreciate
about a hookup.
No, you're trying to cut me off. I can
a
tell.
lot of great information.
Yeah, about the other lady.
Oh, someone got muted.
I've always wanted to do that.
Shut her down, Russ. Shut her down.
Oh, that brought tears to my eyes. I was laughing so hard.
Poor Katie.
She knows I love her. And Brenda, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chris.
Always.
Thank you, Jim.
Asshole.
I was going to say you too, Katie, but you blurted out asshole a little too quick.
Right off the rails.
Yep. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Al.
Now, Russ is like muted himself. He doesn't want to have any part of this.
No.
I put it off, and I said, "Oh, here we go."
Thank you, Russ. And I'd also like to say thank you to Paul Bordas, who he said he had to go because of the thunderstorms in his area. Thank you, Paul, for being on here every week. Thank you, Steve Good, for being here tonight, even though things didn't work out. I'm serious. I'm all teary-eyed and stuffed up from laughing so hard. So
This will be the show.
yeah. So anyway, we got to go, folks. It's almost 10 o'clock. Wow. So and if y'all notice, my granddaughter disappeared a little bit earlier. I was sitting here watching, and I wanted to explain. I was sitting here watching, and I realized she was getting very bored. I mean, she stayed out here for a little while, and so I muted it and everything. I looked over and I said, "You're kind of bored, aren't you?" And she said, "Yeah." I said, "Go on back in the house. Don't worry about it." She says, "You sure?" And I said, "Yeah, go ahead." And she goes, "I love you, Papa." And I hugged her, and
She's sweet.
back in the house. Yeah, she's really, really cool. So. But she gave it her all. She's out here for a little while, but
I knew that the subject matter wasn't going to be her thing, and that's totally understandable. But she is a cutie pie, and I thank you for bringing her on.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Yeah, her father has already got her father. They live on a farm and has plenty of guns. So I will guarantee you the guy that starts trying to date her is going to have a rough row to toe, so to speak. I believe that's what you say on the
Road to hoe.
Road to hoe.
Road to hoe. Yeah, rough road to hoe. There you go. So yeah. So, but I have a feeling that once she gets in high school, she's going to have a lots of young men chasing after her.
Her dad's probably going to need all those guns.
Yeah, he will probably. So I agree.
She is a cutie pie.
Yeah. And she's such, and I have to admit, she's such a sweetheart. She is. If she comes over and I'm out here in the shop, she will walk. My wife has told me she'll walk through the door, look around, and say, "Where's Papa?" And Nancy will say, "He's out in the shop."
Well, she's just a little kid. She doesn't know any better.
Yeah, she's right out here in the shop. She'll come and looking for me. What are you doing? And she loves to scroll. I'm teaching her to scroll, and she loves to scroll and do things. So anyway, so that's it for tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being in the chat. There's only one thing that we've got left to do, and that is just give me sawdust. Lots of sawdust all around me and everywhere. I like it flying all around my shop and even in my beard and hair. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Boys and girls. Night. Pick up your drinks. Head on out. Let's go. You don't have to go home, but you cannot stay here.
Good night, everyone.
Good. Exits that way. That way.
That way?
Stage left.
That way.
That
way.
That way.
Mine's over there.
Which way? Which way?